Okay, so the Nationals. Um, there's really nothing to be said here. They didn't really have a good season this year, and rightfully so. Um, they missed Soto for quite some time in the beginning of the season. That threw him off a little bit. Kurt Suzuki didn't play a lot of games. Kyle Hendricks has been in and out of the 10-day IL. So has Adam Eaton. So where to begin with this team? Well, first of all, shout out to Juan Soto and Trey Turner. They're two cornerstone pieces for this team. I mean, they're batting over 330. Soto has been nothing but great for them since he arrived as a Nationals player. And, he leads the team in home runs. He's second in the team. Actually, no, I think he's first in the team in batting average. And he's first in the team. He's first in the team in pretty much every single category besides stolen bases, which we all know who that belongs to. So, you obviously have your, face of your franchise and all that, right? And that's great. But you got some concern. You got a lot of veterans. Obviously, Chris Suzuki, he's 36. Dames is 33. Kendricks is 36. Ian's 31. And I think he'll have a bounce back season next year. But they got a lot of really young guys. Keybum. He has some pretty interesting moments this year, but he just hasn't been that guy for him in third base. He, this, he walks a lot. He's really good at play discipline. He is. I think as long as, Carter can improve on just being a better hitter, I think that will make his development leap a lot further. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say about that. Another guy to really mention here is Cabrera. He had a pretty good start in the beginning of the season, and then he kind of just fell off a little bit. But if I remember correctly, he's injured. He was injured for quite a bit this season. And I don't know what the deal is. I mean, he's played 46 games? I'm sorry. I'm mixing up somebody else. I don't know if you know this, but I'm not a professional when it comes to making videos. So anyways, Trey Turner. You know exactly what to get from him. He's been stealing bases since he was born. I mean, he was born to stealing bases. Nothing to be said about that. I mean, the fact that he's, not only he's second in OPS, he walks a lot. I mean, the fact that he's just a great hitter, a great defender. He's just like your prototypical leadoff man who's a great defender with speed. And he is one of the best to do it in today's league. So, I'm looking at this team, and their pitching is something to be talked about because the main guy to talk about is definitely Max Scherzer. Now, I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of articles about Max Scherzer and why this is the quote-unquote the beginning and the end of Max. I think it's a fluke season, man. I'll be honest with you. A lot of pitchers this year who are considered elite have been looking really suspect, and that's because we were in the middle of the spring training, and then it got cut off, and then we had to wait a couple months to get back into the season, and now guys like Paxton, guys like Scherzer, they look pretty bad, and I don't know. I think the whole thing about Max Scherzer is that he's declining, he doesn't look good. It's kind of misleading. Some of these guys, they get back to back seasons of below 3-year ERA, and in Scherzer's case, he's been doing this for the past 5 years. Ever since he became a national, he's been nothing but great for them, And I think the fact that people are already writing him off as, he's declining, he's not gonna win another Cy Young, he's not gonna compete for another Cy Young. It's just ridiculous. I don't know. I hate when people just jump the gun like that. It's kind of like, the Clippers for, the NBA, where everyone's just like, oh, they can't do anything with Doc Rivers. Oh, they can't do this. Oh, they can't do that. They got Kawhi. They got PG-13, and they're not going to be able to do it again. It's like, well, let's wait till next year. Let's see what happens, I don't know. I think people in media, just in general, just fans, they like to jump the gun on opinions. Um, I'm getting a little off track here. Patrick Corbin, he's been solid, but he's their second best pitcher. Max Scherzer's their best pitcher. He's their ace. He should always be their ace. Thing to talk about too is Steven Strasburg. If I remember correctly, he only played 2 games this year, and he had a pretty bad outing in both those games, and he's done for the season. He's not coming back this year. I think it was a torn labrum, if I remember correctly. And people have been saying that Strasburg might be done as an MLB player, which is ridiculous. I don't know, man. I think the fact that they won the World Series the year prior is really like getting into people's heads like, oh, this is a very disappointing year for the National. I don't know, man. I mean, they just came off of a game where they got beaten by Miami 3-14. Yeah, that's really concerning, But I don't know. This year's been a really weird year for sports, so I don't think that'd be heavily dependent on that. Is there anything else to talk about? I guess there is. I mean, the one guy that's been really good for them relieving is Tanner Rainey. I mean, he went from being a 3.9 ERA guy to 2.6, and he's been striking out guys left and right. I mean, he did that last year, but the fact that he's now allowing way less runs is very important. 27 years old. He's got really nice movement in his pitches. Very good repertoire. Sean Doolittle. We only saw a small sample set. Actually, we saw like 11 games out of him. He's, he definitely looks like he's in his 30s. That's for sure. I mean, like what he did with Oakland, that was awesome. And, what he did with Washington, that was awesome as well. I just think for him, I think it's just those years, man, like where everybody's just kind of just like, oh, we're slumping because how the year's going. I think another guy I want to bring up too is Starlin Castro, former Yankee. He had a pretty good year this year. I mean, was it as good? It was pretty much identical as last year. Unfortunately, it ended with an injury, which sucks, But he's still a very reliable player, a guy that, is going to stick with the team for long term. Now it's worth mentioning about their contract situation. So they got a lot of 1-year deals to kind of talk about, and Trey Turner. This is his first. Next year will be his first year in arbitration. So, actually, no, this will be his second year in arbitration next year. So, that's something to be looking forward to. He's probably gonna get paid around like $8 to $9 million. The way he's been, actually, probably way more than that because he's been on fire for them. Probably like around $10 million for 2 more years. Who else to talk about? I mean, Cabrera, they might let him go in free agency. He's getting up there in age. The Mr. Washington himself, Ryan Zimmerman, this is his last year. And is he going to come back? Is he going to retire? He is 35. There might be a good chance he might retire. But they might bring him back because, he took the year off to avoid the thing. The whole pandemic. Obviously got Strasburg on that really big deal. And then Scherzer next year, he's going to be, his contract year is going to be next year, and it entirely depends on how he's going to play for them. I mean, is he going to become a Cy Young nominee again? I don't know. I mean, this year alone, he's had an ERA of 4. And in years past, he's had an ERA of below 3. And, striking out guys left and right. He's been, a guy where you can rely on him for like 8 innings on end for back-to-back games. And like I said before, I think this year is a fluke year when it comes to pitching and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. Not discrediting guys like Bieber or, Tyler Alexander or anything like that, because those guys, they'll stay with the way they were. I'm just saying, like, some guys are just thrown off by how things are going. Anyways, Scherzer, he's going to be making $34 million next year. And, 2021 is going to be a very important year because he could either be their guy for another couple more years if he becomes the guy that he was for them all throughout his tenure. We'll see how that goes. They got Patrick Corbin for a good amount of time for 4 or 5 years. But he hasn't been looking like the guy that they want him to be. Well, actually, he's been kind of expected, but for him to be paid like 20 to 25 million, it's kind of underwhelming. Adam Eaton, he's going to be probably a free agent next year. He's got that option where he can accept a term where he can accept 1.5 million and stay with the team. That's a real possibility. Doolittle becomes a free agent this year. Holly Kendricks becomes a free agent this year. All that good stuff, right? And Juan Soto, I mean, thank God for the Nationals for him to be this type of player already throughout his timing, because he's got 2 years left including this year, of his re-announcing rights, and his operation doesn't kick off till 2022. They really struck gold with Juan Soto, man. They really did. No question about that. Is there anyone else to talk about? Trey Turner. Yeah, he's definitely worth mentioning because he could become a free agent in 2023. Are they going to make some moves where they're going to be playoff contenders again and just be like, hey, we can probably rerun this? Because obviously they're not going to make it to the playoffs this year. What are they? They're like 3rd, 4th in the NL West. Or not NL West, NL East. I think it's safe to say that they're going to be retooling next year, and they're going to try to do what they did last year and probably make a hoist to the pennant. Good possibility, I would say. Yeah, they just have a lot of veterans, franchise guys like Trey Turner, and they got Strasburg for a long, long time. He's the 2nd highest paid pitcher in all of baseball behind Garrett Cole. And, we'll see what happens in the offseason, what kind of moves they make, who are they going to let go, who's going to retire. That's probably the question right there, who's going to retire, and who can they acquire. That's it.